Hi, we're Ariel.
And Michelle, and we're the Board Game Tutors.
Today we're going to be doing Just the Basics, Part 3, for the board game Forbidden Desert. Let's go ahead and get started.
All right.
So, as you can see, we've included more components.
Basically building from the ground up here. So today we're going to talk about all the different actions that you have the choice of taking on your turn. So first we got out our little characters. They represent the adventures that we are playing. So over here are the cards showing which roles we've chosen. We have the water carrier on the left and the explorer on the right.
You'll be handing them to each player, obviously. So yeah, this would be me, for example, and this would be Michelle. Each player would get their own card, and they would have the tick mark for their water canteen at the highest mark.
Right. And then we chose the corresponding colored pawns. Yeah. So we have the blue pawn
for the water
carrier and the green pawn for the explorer. You can see those colors match the colors on the tops of their cards.
And so you're wondering, how do you get on the board? Well,
so this is where we start out. This is the helicopter crash site because apparently our original helicopter crashed when we arrived in the desert. I think the storm grabbed it or something.
And right here, as you can see on the bottom left corner,
there's the little symbol that shows that your pawns go on this tile. So that's where you start.
So obviously, if you back up a little bit here, you can see here, you could, since this is a random assortment, you could theoretically start anywhere. You could start in a corner. You could start, obviously not where the Eye of the Storm is because there's no tile there, but pretty much anywhere on the board because you're going to be randomly assorting these tiles.
Right. So in this case, the tile ended up in this spot. So on your turn, you can do up to 4 actions.
So if you flip over your card, this gives you a little cheat sheet of the 4 actions that you can do. So what does it mean when we say you have 4 actions? Let's go over that a little bit more, Michelle.
Okay, so this is called action points sometimes, and you have 4 action points. So that means you can choose 4 different things to do on your turn. Now, in this case, there are 4 different actions that you can choose from, but you can do any combination of them. So it isn't as if you could only move once, clear sand once, etc. You can do any of these actions in any combination, adding up to a total of 4 actions.
So each of these actions counts as 1 action point or 1 action. So what are the actions that we can take? Okay,
so first we have move. This is fairly simple. Movement usually always means going either horizontal or vertical. So like the green pawn could move down to the tile below it.
That is 1 action.
Exactly. That's 1 movement and 1 action. So he could move up to 4 times if that's how you wanted to do it. That would be 2 movements right there. And then if you moved back, that would be 3 movements.
But yeah, basically up, down, left, or right. So that is always the option given the space you are currently on.
So the places that you can't move are either into the Eye of the Storm. See that blank black area? That's not a tile, so you can't move on to that.
No.
Yeah. And who would jump into the Eye of the Storm? That makes no sense.
That's a crazy guy right there.
The other place you can't move through is a blocked tile. So there you see the X on the sand. So you can't move onto that space. And if you were on that space when it became blocked,
for example, this tile moved and then you were already on it. Then, since it moved, you would get this second sand tile. You would move your character out of the way, and if the sand would cooperate, it would go there.
So then you move that blocked sand piece onto there. You wouldn't be able to move off of there until that sand is removed, which we're going to go over in a moment.
Yeah. So that is a blocked off area. You must get rid of the sand before you move.
So you can't move onto a blocked tile, and you can't move off of a blocked tile if you happen to be on it when it became blocked.
Yeah, so you can't go this way because he's stuck. And if he was here, he can't go this way because it's blocked. All right.
Okay, so that's movement.
Yeah, you can only go up, down, left, or right.
Okay, then we have clear sand, which, as you can see, is important because tiles will become blocked and then you can't move onto them and such. So it says remove 1 sand marker either on your tile or on an adjacent tile. So this, again, is pretty straightforward. So if we're there on that landing area or crash site, I guess, that helicopter crash site, then either of us on our turn could clear the sand that's below us because we're on that tile. So if I'm the blue player, I'm on that tile, I can go ahead and clear that sand, and that's one action.
And where does this go? It goes
into the sand pile.
Over here. And then we'd put them back there.
You can also clear sand from an adjacent tile, so I could take that piece of sand right there and remove it. Now that tile wouldn't be blocked anymore. That would have been 2 actions right there.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
And then the third action would be to remove the last piece of sand. And then maybe I would decide to move on to that tile since it's not blocked.
So if she was blue, she would go here. And that would be 4 actions. 1, 2, 3, and then moving here, 4.
And I could have moved there while there was still 1 piece of sand because it didn't have the blocked X on it since there's just 1. But yeah, in this case, we cleared it and then moved there.
So in this example, she could go here on her next turn, or she could go there on her next turn, as long as the storm didn't cover those up with enough sand to become blocked.
Okay, right? So we've gone over move and we've gone over clear sand. Now we have excavate. This one means flip over your tile if there's no sand on it. So all the sand has to be cleared first. In this case, we had cleared the sand. So if it was a new turn for me, we could lift my pawn and flip over the tile, and that's called excavating. And now we would see what's on the tile. So in this case, as we've mentioned in the previous video, when you see this spot, that's the launch pad. That's where you leave from in the flying machine at the end of the game once you've collected all of the parts.
And you can tell because it has that, I don't know what you call that border, but
it's like striped, I guess.
Striped, I guess, yes. So yeah, you found one of the pretty crucial pieces of information that you need to leave the desert. So that would be one example of excavating a tile. So obviously in this example, you would need to get rid of this sand first before excavation could take place. In order to excavate a tile, it has to be completely clear.
Right.
So that would be that. And obviously where I am, if I was the explorer, for example, then I could flip this tile over because it's just the desert tile, desert side face up. So I could flip that over if I wanted to.
Right.
Right. And then
So
the
that
fourth
was
action possibility.
So now we have pick up a part. From your tile, basically you can pick up a part from your tile if your tile is unblocked and excavated. So it's always the case. You will sometimes have found out that the part is on that spot before you excavate the tile, but you always have to flip that tile, excavate it, before you can actually take the part that's there.
So for example, in the previous video we showed you, this tile shows one spot, 1/2 of where the yellow propeller goes, and this right here also shows you.
So those are the 2 clues that you need.
Yeah, the part location clues. And so if you would look at these 2, where they cross is up there, because that's the up-down, that's the left-right. So we would put this one there. So for one action, if we were over there, if Michelle was over there, for example, we would take her pawn, and if she had gotten here, basically she can't just go all the way over there without doing something special. For one action, she can grab this part piece, not disturb the rest of the desert, although it is a storm, and basically take that one and put that with her card.
Basically claim it. Yeah, you basically claim it and set it aside until the end of the game when you will use it to depart.
So it's no longer on the board, it is in your personal player area. All right, so that was that. And also on this card, as you can see on the bottom, it describes some other free actions that don't count as one of your 4 actions. We'll describe this more when we get into how to give water and get water and to work with equipment cards, gear cards that you will find later on in the game. So yeah, those ones don't cost any action points to do.
Right. Okay, so that was everything that you have the option of doing on your turn. All of the regular 4 actions that you can choose from. We hope you enjoyed the content of this video. If you did enjoy it and would like to get more regular updates from us, feel free to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, The Board Game Tutors. You can also find us on BoardGameGeek.com. Our username is The Board Game Tutors, one word. And yeah, we really appreciate any feedback from you guys, comments, questions, clarifications. Yeah, just let us know if you have anything to say.
All right, yeah. Thanks so much, everybody. And yeah, please share this video with your friends if you think that they would like this video as well.
All right, thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Bye, everybody.